Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever-Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses Tarot, Oracle, and Charms, and today's reading is your next 7 days. So what's going to happen for you in the next 7 days from the point that you watch this video. So it can be when I post it or a year later, whenever. It's a timeless reading. So yeah, before we get started, I want to remind everyone that this is a general reading, so it might not resonate for everybody. So just take the messages that you feel are meant for you and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoy this video, please hit that like button for me and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so, as it really does help out the channel, and then you get to see when I've posted new content right away. Thank you so much to those of you who have already subscribed. It's still creeping up in the numbers, and I'd love to keep this channel growing. So we have 3 piles here today, and I'm doing it a little bit differently than I usually do. So we have 3 different tarot decks as the pile markers. So pile 1 is the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot. Pile 2 is the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot. And then pile 3 is the Dark Mansion Tarot. So they're all kind of Halloween themed decks, a little bit darker and spookier than a lot of the other decks that I have. And I'm going to shuffle your tarot live, and I've already pulled your oracle cards, so I've got those kind of associated with each pile already. But just let your intuition guide you to a pile. I'm going to put timestamps in the description box and in the comments below. And we are going to get started now with pile number 1. Hi Group 1, so if you chose the Edgar Allan Poe Tarot as your tarot deck, then this is your reading, so welcome. We are going to start by shuffling your tarot cards, then we're going to pull your oracle cards that I've already pulled for you, and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's coming for you in the next 7 days. Alright, so I wanted to get a few more tarot cards than I usually get for a reading like this, because I figured for 7 days, 3 cards doesn't always kind of show you the progression as well, so I just wanted to get a few more cards. So we've got the Knight of Wands for your first card. And we've got the Hierophant. We've got the Hanged Man, the Four of Cups, and finally we've got the Six of Pentacles. So just from first glance, I feel like there's definitely a progression this week. I feel like you might be starting off feeling a bit kind of abrasive and like you're really wanting to kind of go at somebody. I feel like there might be some disagreements or something, or you're really struggling to see somebody else's perspective at first, but by the end of the week, you're on a more even playing field with somebody. Like it feels like you can see each other's sides of things, because with starting with the Knight of Wands, the Knight of Wands is very impulsive. There's definitely movement going on, but with this particular version of this card, I just get the sense of this kind of destructive energy, like a lot of impulsivity and just things going wrong. So I feel like somebody's temper might get the best of them, and there might be like an exchange of words that you didn't mean, or you're just kind of seeing somebody else's behavior as that. But I feel like some of you might go towards like a mentor, or even like see a therapist or something, just to get another perspective, because the Hierophant can often be a mentor, it can be a teacher, somebody who helps you to kind of grow and see things differently. And there's definitely this sense of getting another perspective, because that's what the Hanged Man is all about, is taking a step back, really seeing things from another point of view. And with this version of Four of Cups, that to me says that you haven't been looking at things the way that maybe you should be, or there's been something that you've been missing, because usually it shows somebody staring at like these 3 cups, being really miserable about it, but there's this 4th cup being handed to them that they're just ignoring or not seeing. And in this one, I'm actually getting this sense of going to see a therapist, and maybe the therapist being like, hey, why haven't you paid attention to this? Or like, you know, have you thought about things this way? And there's just this like, you can kind of see his face just like utterly shocked. So I feel like some of you might kind of have an epiphany about someone else's behavior or about your own behavior this week, and that's going to allow you to have things kind of work out a little more evenly, that you'll feel like your relationships are a bit more give and take. And this can also be in like a work situation if it's not relationship oriented, like romantic or friendship related. It could be that you feel like your work has not been recognized, and that's making you feel all kind of impulsive and just like, man, I'm done with this and I really don't want to deal with this, but maybe having a talk with your boss or with HR or something will help you gain a new perspective and you feel like things are starting to be a little bit more equal give and take. So if you feel like you haven't been appreciated at work, someone's going to start appreciating you and you're also going to see where they're coming from. So that's a really good progression for the week ahead. I feel like that's a lot of work being done over the week as well. But let's see what your oracle cards have to say. So for your first one, you have outsider, misfit, loner, wanderer, and that's number 22. So I feel like, yeah, there's definitely this sense of like not being understood. I feel like you might be feeling like the outsider or feeling like you're not appreciated or not understood or like you just don't fit in with the world around you and with the people around you. And that's why I think whatever is coming this week is going to help you kind of feel a little bit less alone and less kind of outside of things looking in. You have take positive action, number 32. So that's really what I think is happening for you this week. And if you haven't been thinking about doing that, maybe this is your advice to do that, to take some positive action, talk to someone, get another perspective. Because I think that that really is going to help you move forward. Because even just the way that she's sitting in the bathtub and she's got the sail up, that's making me feel like you're feeling very stuck, like you're stuck in one place. But just putting that sail up and kind of asking for help or willing things to move differently is going to help things move along. You have midnight, the most magical hour of all. So there's definitely this energy of transformation, and I think also an energy of waiting until the last minute for things to get done. So maybe that's something that's happened. Maybe that's why the impulsivity is occurring, is that you just feel like you're at your wit's end and you can't keep going like this. It could also just be like you've been putting it off and putting it off and putting it off, and you know that you need to have this conversation with someone, or you know that you need to go talk to your boss or see a therapist, but you've been putting it off. And so this is saying, hey, it's midnight, it's time, you've got to move forward and kind of make this change that's been waiting for a long time. You have rain. So this is definitely an energy of abundance. So I feel like there is a lot of growth and abundance that's coming, but a lot of the time that kind of cleansing rain has to happen first, but this is a very nourishing rain. So this also makes me think a lot of you might be very emotional this week, like there might be tears being shed. You might just feel like you need to get things out of your system, but I think that that is clearing the way for things to grow, and it is going to nourish whatever needs to grow soon. And that's number 35. That's really hard to see, but for those of you who are interested in the numbers, I just want to make sure that I'm making those known. And then your final card is surrender to the divine, full moon. So full moons also all like make me think of like emotions running high. It makes me think of things coming to like an ending point. It's the culmination of all of your efforts. It can mean that your abundance is coming to you. It's that midnight energy as well. And surrendering to the divine makes me think that some of you maybe have been trying to control things too much, and now it's like time to take that step back, like the Hanged Man is showing you, and just trust that things are going to work out, trust that things are going to come together in the right way, and know that this new perspective is really going to help you move forward, that you don't have to hold on to a perspective that is no longer serving you. So let's get your charms for some more detailed information. And we are using the heart to get to what's in the heart of the situation. So let's get your next 7 days. Okay, and then this one is kind of hanging off the side, that key and moon. So in your heart, you have the spider and the spider web. So that always makes me think of creation, creating your own life, but sometimes that energy of being stuck precedes it. So I think that's the Hanged Man energy really seems to be the center point of this reading. You have passport, so going somewhere new, doing things that you've never done before, and in this case it's making me think of getting a totally new perspective. Travel can do that. It can help you get a new perspective. You have the little love symbol, so I do feel like treating people with love this week is going to help. I think talking to people who love you is also going to help. And let me get those. Okay, there we go. There's this little gin bottle one at the bottom. So this makes me think of like your vices. So some of you might really be turning to drinking or turning to escapism, like whether that's video games or storytelling of any sort, watching movies, reading books, in order to just totally escape from what you need. And that's that Four of Cups energy, is like ignoring what you need to see because it's too hard to look at right now, or it's making you mad, or it's just you don't know how to approach it, so you can't think about it, otherwise it would drive you insane. But I think this is really telling you that you can make a change and things can get better. You just have to take that first step, talk to somebody, reach out to somebody who maybe knows more than you. So you have the letter Y and you have the letter Q. So some interesting letters that are coming out. Those don't always come out, but the letter Y makes me think of like the question why, questioning why something is happening. So I think that that kind of ties into that new perspective as well, maybe learning why something is happening a certain way. The Q is making me think of the word queen, so like Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups energy. So maybe some of the queens have been popping out for you if you've been reading tarot on your own or if you've been looking for other tarot readings. But that's also making me think of like the word cue, you know, like your cue to start something, your cue to start something new, to create something, to talk to someone. You know, I feel like this is kind of that push to say, hey, if you've been thinking about doing something, whether it's getting help, having a conversation with your boss or with someone around you, this is your sign to do that. There is all this transformative energy around you, which is great. I do think that this is going to be a very transformative week for you. Music might help you kind of cope with things, especially if you tend to look to like movies and things to help you escape. Maybe music is going to help you stay calm while you face what you need to face. So maybe it kind of is that good compromise where you feel like you're still indulging in that a little bit and really kind of focusing on the lyrics and things like that, and it's helping you work through your emotions while you're looking at it. You know, you're not really trying to escape using it, you're just looking at it, but it's keeping you calm and it's keeping you grounded. And then you have the little like Cthulhu alien. So this always makes me think of being afraid and having that fear be bigger than what the actual situation is. So I do feel like your fears have taken over and made you kind of stop acting, or it's made you act impulsively. And so that's why I think getting a new perspective is going to help, because it is going to shrink that fear down to a manageable level, especially if you feel like other people have your back. So I think that fear is really what's holding you back at the moment. You have the little pickaxe, so that makes me think of just kind of cutting out what doesn't work for you anymore and making sure that you're putting the work in to do that. And yes, it can be difficult and strenuous and painful, but it's going to be worth it once you get all that work done. You have the little bunny that's playing tennis, so make time for fun this week. I think that's really important to make sure that you're not just thinking of all the serious things or focusing on your difficulties and things like that. I think it's important to make time for fun and playfulness, and you know, maybe that's why the music is tied in too, is maybe that's what you do for fun, is listen to or play music. You've got the moon, so this was one of them that was hanging off of the bowl when I was shuffling. So that makes me think of fears again, intuition, a lot of the time illusion, because things are very dark. It's facing your dark side. It's just that very kind of introspective energy, but sometimes when things aren't clear, you don't really know what to listen to. Should I listen to what I think is my intuition, or is that just fear? You know, that kind of thing. But I think by introspecting, you're going to find the solution that you need. And that's why I feel like a lot of you are going to be having a really deep, like heart-to-heart conversation with someone, or have a talk with a therapist, or, you know, talk to your boss to really get to the root of the issue. Because I think that just diving in there is really going to bring the solution that you need to fix the situation. So group one, this is like a really powerful week ahead for you. I do feel like a lot of things are going to change and get resolved this week. So that's good news. So I hope that this resonated for you. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi Group 2, so if you chose the Nightmare Before Christmas Tarot, then this is your message, so welcome to your reading. We are going to start with your tarot cards. I'm going to shuffle those, and then we're going to do your oracle cards that I've already picked for you, and then we'll do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's coming for you in the next 7 days. All right, well, okay, these are just gonna like fly out here, so let's just take those, and that's it. Okay, so let's see if I can do these in the order that they came out. So you have the Page of Presents, or the Page of Pentacles. You have the Three of Potions, or the Three of Cups. the 10 of Needles or the 10 of Swords, the 6 of Potions or the 6 of Cups, the Queen of Candles or the Queen of Wands, Ace of Presents or Ace of Pentacles, the 8 of Needles or the 8 of Swords, the 6 of Needles or 6 of Swords, and then finally you have the Ace of Potions or the Ace of Cups. So wow, a lot is going on for you this week, Group 2. I feel like there's definitely some changes happening, a lot of new starts, a lot of endings. I think you're going to feel a lot less stuck coming up, and I think it's important to make time for fun and for joy in your life as well. So, trying to figure out where to start. So, you've got a lot of new start energy. I'm just going to kind of go here first. So, you have a couple of aces. So, you have the Ace of Potions and Ace of Presents. So, that makes me feel like there's definitely a new start coming. Ace of Potions is talking about like a new emotional start. Sometimes it can be new love coming in, just a renewal of your feelings for something. And in this case, I'm not necessarily getting that it's like a renewal of a relationship romantically. I feel like it's more a renewal of joy and love in your life. And I feel like there's a lot of transformative energy too, because you've got the butterfly coming out. And Ace of Presents is like a more grounded start as well. It's planting the seed of something that can really grow into something wonderful. And I do get the sense that you're going to get totally unstuck this week, because 8 of Needles or 8 of Swords talks about feeling very stuck, feeling very kind of in a mental prison, but it really is a mental prison. It's not necessarily anything external holding you back. It's your mindset. It's your own fears and insecurities that are holding you back. And in this case, I'm getting the sense of like trying to fix something, but then just it keeps coming up, like whatever you're trying to fix or like keep contained just keeps coming out. So I do feel like there's a need this week to really face something and not ignore it. Like make sure that you are actually addressing something, because I think that that's going to give you the tools to fix it, whatever it is. So with the 6 of Needles, 6 of Swords, that often talks about moving forward and kind of leaving behind a tumultuous situation and moving on to calmer waters. It's your mind calming down too. And in this case, I feel like that's finally when you're going to start to feel like you can heal. You're going to feel like you're getting stitched up finally, and that it's not just going to be like bursting at the seams with emotion or with mental energy anymore. With the 10 of Needles, that's the end of something as well. That's like sometimes feeling like you're just burnt out at mental rock bottom, like you just can't keep moving forward. You can't keep going on anymore. So I think that that's kind of where you're at, is just feeling stuck, feeling like you can't do anything more. But that's why I think all this renewal energy with the aces and even this page is really good news. So the Page of Presents is getting that inspiration for something and moving forward with it, you know, taking those first steps to bring a project to life or to learn something new or to just start taking those first steps towards something. Like it's this kind of feeling of getting excited for Christmas morning. So I feel like a lot of you just really need to embrace that like beginner's mind energy this week. And I think that that's really going to help you kind of overcome whatever these difficulties are. I think it's important to connect with loved ones this week with the 3 of Potions. That's like connecting with friends. That's joy. That's sometimes even like partying, you know. So I would say don't overindulge, but just really connect with fun and laughter and love, and make sure that you're connecting with the people who love you, because I think that that is also going to help. And I think there might even be reconnections with people or things that you loved as a kid, because you have the 6 of Potions, which talks about your past. It talks about childhood and that childlike sense of wonder and joy. And these potions are all looking kind of dead. So I feel like there might be a renewal of something that you thought was totally dead. Like maybe you're going to be able to kind of reignite a passion or start up a friendship with somebody that you haven't seen in a long time. You know, it's going to feel like you never left them and things like that. But it really is this renewal energy. And with the Queen of Candles, that's confidence, that's joy. That's really trusting in your own power as well. So I feel like as long as you embrace that energy, this week is going to really kind of clear things up for you. But I do think that it is a process. I don't think that all of this is going to just get resolved this week, but I think that this is a lot of where your mindset is at, is what you need to do to fix the things that you're not happy with in your life, how to really get joyful again, how to embrace those new starts again. But I do feel like you are ending something and you are starting something new this week and just trying to figure out how to move yourself forward. But I think it is about just breaking free and making sure that you're not holding yourself back. But let's get your oracle cards to see what they have to say, because you got so many tarot cards. That's a lot of kind of energy coming up. So you have faith, trust, unwavering, confidence, number 36. So that's totally what I was talking about with the Queen of Candles, is that confidence. I think trusting in yourself and having faith that you can get through anything as well is going to be important, because it's kind of over her heart chakra here, and she's holding this heart with the keys. So I think just trusting that things can change and get better, and really even reflecting on past times when you felt like the world was ending around you and then you moved forward, and yes, things changed and maybe you never got your life back to that same kind of energy, but things changed and you still overcame it. You still moved forward. You still got past those obstacles and things improved again. You know, it is just that cycle that keeps coming through, but I think it's important to trust in yourself. And then you also have natural, authentic, real, organic, number 40. So that's kind of Queen of Candles, Queen of Wands energy as well, is just really embracing your authenticity and showing yourself some love too, and just making sure that you're not covering up how you're feeling or who you are to please anybody else, and just really kind of embracing who you are and what you want. So maybe that's kind of the barrier you have to break through this week, or at least start to break through this week, is really embracing your own self and not kind of covering that up in order to please anybody else, or to kind of talk yourself into a life that you don't necessarily want. Become more objective, number 4. So maybe you're going to be able to see things from a kind of a higher perspective this week. You're not going to be so stuck in like looking at the minute details or feeling too close to the situation to really be able to see it as it is. So especially if you feel like you've been really stuck, maybe you're going to start seeing a different way out, or you're going to start recognizing where you are valuable and beneficial, and you know that you're not going to start feeling kind of spiraling down like you might otherwise be. I feel like it's going to be easier this week to become more objective, and maybe that's something that can help you if you're feeling stuck again, is try to get a more objective viewpoint, even if it means asking someone else, you know, connecting with those people around you. You have Cauldron, synergy and healing. So I think that healing is really important this week because of that 6 of Needles, the 8 of Needles. I do feel like that healing is really important. Oh, and the 10 of Needles. So I feel like a lot of it is very mental healing as well, emotional healing, things like that. But I feel like overall this week is really going to help you, even if there are some difficult moments this week. I think that you are going to overcome whatever you're facing right now. And I think that this week is going to be kind of a turning point. So even if you feel like you haven't gone through all these energies this week, I think this is the seed of something new. I think that this week, whatever work you put in this week is going to help you in the long-term future as well, that it's going to help you move forward into a better future. You have number 2, adventure. So I feel like, yeah, you're definitely embarking on something new. I'm looking at this like Queen of Candles, the cat that looks like it's going off on a new adventure too. I think you're going to start seeing things differently. And then you have emotions are running high, supermoon. So that's definitely fitting. I think that a lot of you are just feeling very emotional. Things feel huge right now, even if they're not necessarily that way. So I think that's why it's saying try to become more objective, get like a different viewpoint on things, and make sure that you are taking time to yourself to renew and kind of rejuvenate your emotional self as well. I think it's important to connect with the people that really love you, connect with your past, connect with things that made you feel better as a kid too, to really help rejuvenate yourself and heal. So let's get your charms now for some more detailed information. And we are going to use the heart to figure out what's in the heart of the situation today. So group 2, your next 7 days. All right, so initially I noticed in your heart you had divine, and then it got knocked out by the squirrel, but the back of the divine says princess, so I'll get to that in a moment. But the squirrel being in your heart makes me think that just hard work is going to be important this week. And again, what I was thinking is that the seeds that you plant this week, those investments will pay off. I think it's really important to recognize that even if you don't see the results this week is like a starting point for some new massive change. So that's really good news. Try not to lose hope. And the fact that the divine was in there and then it kind of got knocked out makes me think of faith. You know, you have that card that said faith that was really focused on the heart chakra. So that makes me think of trusting in the divine, trusting in yourself and the divine within yourself as well. So I feel like a lot of it does have to do with self-trust and trusting that things will work out again. Because I feel like a lot of the time when you're in the midst of a really crappy situation, it's easy to think that that situation will last forever. And I think it's important to take a step back and remember that things never last forever. So it's important to just recognize that and remember that and allow that to kind of take you out of your thought spiral so that you don't get sucked in again. And Princess makes me think of just really nurturing yourself and pampering yourself this week. Make sure that you are kind of taking back that sovereignty of your own life as well and moving forward in the way that you want to, you know, embracing your authenticity. You've got some music notes here, so that makes me think that a lot of you might really want to play or listen to music to help you with this. Maybe music that you liked when you were younger is going to help you kind of get a different perspective on the situation as well, because there might be some messages in some lyrics that are going to be important for you this week. And group 1 had some music notes too, so maybe music is going to be significant for a lot of people this week. I'll be interested to see what group 3 has. You have will, so I feel like things will get better. This also makes me think of willpower, that's going to be significant for you moving forward. And you have wish, so make a wish. I think it is going to come true, and that was right over here by the wishing star, the shooting star, that is again signifying that wishes will come true. So that's really good news, really good energy. You have hello. So I think reaching out to other people is going to be important. There might be people who reach out to you as well. And I think just allowing that to happen, you know, trying not to isolate yourself, especially if you're in kind of your own mental prison, connecting with other people will help you get more objective. You have believe, so believing things can get better, believing in yourself, kind of romanticizing your life, because the Eiffel Tower has to do with romance a lot of the time, so whether that is romance with another person or just kind of seeing yourself as a romantic lead in a story and recognizing that every story character has to go through that kind of dark night of the soul when things all feel hopeless, but then, you know what, there's that shining star that leads them back to what they need to do, and it's that kind of darkness that helps them rejuvenate and move forward and really recognize their own power. Because I do think you are in this like mysterious dark time right now where you have no idea what's coming, but trust that you're supported by spirit and by the people around you. There might actually be romance coming in though, because we do have Cupid, so maybe that's something that some of you are wishing for, like maybe there is a breakup going on or something and you just feel like you want something new. So I think embracing that newness and making sure that you are opening up to something new is going to allow really good things to come into your life. The unicorn makes me think of creativity and just really creating your own life, because it looks like it got made out of all these little pieces. So trusting that you can make your own life into whatever you want it to look like. The purse makes me think of money, maybe worrying about some money a little bit and kind of keeping your purse strings tight. So make sure that you're not overspending, but make sure you do indulge a little bit in whatever way you are able to, just to pamper yourself. I do think a lot more money is coming in because you do have the little $100 bill too. You have the passport, so again, adventure, new things coming in, really embarking on something you've never done before. You have R, so that could be a significant initial or a significant word might come to you. Rejuvenate is one that keeps coming, recover, coming to mind for me. And then you have the shell, so that makes me think of emotions. It can have to do with romance as well, because it makes me think of Aphrodite, who is the goddess of love and romance. Self-love can be involved as well, but I think really allowing your emotions to surface is going to help you. And opening up, it makes me think of coming out of your shell and opening up, opening up that clamshell sometimes is like wrenching it open. So I think you need to be gentle with yourself and allow other people to help you, really reach out if you need to. So group 2, I hope that this resonated. This week, I do feel like a lot of seeds are going to be planted for the future. So this does seem like a significant week in the long run, even if it doesn't feel like it right now. But I would love to hear if it resonates, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi Group 3, so if you chose the Dark Mansion Tarot for your pile marker, then this is your message, so welcome to your reading. We are going to start by shuffling and pulling your tarot cards, and then we're going to show you your oracle cards that I've pulled for you, and then do your charms at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned for that. So let's figure out what's happening for you in the next 7 days. So first you had the Star, and you had the Eight of Cups, the Hanged Man, the Hierophant, Eight of Wands, the Sun, Two of Cups, and finally Death. So, man, every single pile this week has been about transformation and really allowing things to change. It's interesting because you do have a few, I think, overlapping cards with pile 1. So if you were kind of tempted to watch that and you didn't yet, you might want to watch that pile as well. And if you already watched it, you might find some similar themes here. So let's figure out where to start. So with the Hanged Man, I mean, that's the one that's really calling to me just because it's so similar to pile 1. I feel like this week is a week to get some different perspective on something. With the Hierophant, it's making me think of potentially reaching out to a mentor, a teacher, maybe a therapist, somebody just wiser than you who kind of knows what's going on, who might have some additional insights for you. Because I feel like you're definitely feeling kind of like it's time to move on. It's time to walk away from something. Because with that Eight of Cups, this was either the first or second card that came out for you. I'm not sure which, but it doesn't matter too much. But I just feel like you're ready to move on from something. I think you're feeling like what you've been doing just isn't working for you anymore. You're ready to move on. You're not really necessarily sure where to start, but I think this week some moves are going to be made. You have the Star, so I think you are feeling hopeful this week. I think things are going to start brightening up for you. This might be a time of healing for you too, especially if you just feel like something's not been working. I think you're going to start feeling better soon. I think it's important to make sure you make time for yourself to really kind of nurture yourself as well. You have a lot of majors too, so I feel like this is like a big thing happening this week. This is something that might kind of mark part of your life, like the before and after, you know, those moments where you just feel like you remember what happened before then and then after then, but it's just like one of those markers on your kind of timeline of your life. And you have Death, so there's definitely a major change happening, major transformation. It's the end of one era and the beginning of something else. And I think just with this Death card and the Eight of Cups, I feel like you are maybe thinking that something isn't working for you anymore. Maybe you've been contemplating this change for a long time and you're finally ready to make some moves on it. And that Hanged Man, I think, is making me think of just like you're changing your perspective. You're trying to figure out what the world would look like from this other perspective, and I think you are really getting ready to move forward. There is some really happy energy that you're moving towards with the Sun, and I think you're just getting excited. You know, the manifestations are starting. I think things might start getting a little overwhelming, like it's going to start moving faster and faster with the Eight of Wands. But this is really good change. I mean, look how much brighter these cards are than the cards back here. This is all kind of like dark and gloomy, and then the Hierophant starts brightening up, and then you get the Eight of Wands, the Sun, and the Two of Cups. And the Sun obviously is like success and joy and happiness, clarity. It can relate to children as well, especially because there's these two kids here, but I think overall that's just making me think of that childlike joy. I think you're going to start feeling very hopeful and like this is the beginning of something new. So some of you, this might be a new relationship. It could be like a new friendship, but just that beginning moment where like your eyes meet and you just feel like you understand each other. So it can be like a soulmate energy. It can be just like really clicking with somebody, like feeling like you've known each other forever. There's just that sense of comfort with each other. And this can also be like, if this isn't someone new, this could be just somebody that you connect with and that's helping you get this better perspective, that you just feel like things are a little more harmonious. This can be healing of a relationship too. So maybe things have been a little tumultuous and you feel like you have to leave something behind. So maybe it's a pattern of behavior. Maybe it's you want to literally move. Maybe you're not happy where you're living. But overall, I feel like whatever change you're contemplating making that change is going to help you in the long run. And I think that this is going to be a lot more of a brighter future. And I feel like I'm almost getting the sense of like you and somebody else like moving somewhere new or moving in together, and you're like toasting to this new era in your lives. So that might resonate for some of you. Let's get your oracle cards to see what they have to say. So you have ancient, ancestry, Egypt, magical inheritance, number 4. So this always makes me think of just like past life karma. This could kind of point to a past life relationship, like what I was saying about that sudden comfort with somebody. This is also making me think of just like feeling like you might have to live your life a certain way because that's how your ancestors always did it. That's how your parents did it. That's how your grandparents did it. And that's why I feel like for a lot of you, this could be actually wanting to like move and relocate where you live. Like maybe you grew up in a small town and that's where your entire family has lived for generations, and you are somebody breaking out of that, so you're feeling guilty, you're feeling like this is just huge, this is something new. This could be just the end of an era, like maybe you're finally ready to move out of your parents' house. This could be, just ending something that has been holding you back, that's maybe even not been holding you back, but it just hasn't felt right to you. It just didn't feel, you don't feel whole with that. Like it just feels like you're living somebody else's life. This is kind of breaking free of that. You have minimize guilt, number 22. So yeah, if you have been doing something for somebody else, that you've been living a life that you feel like is right for them, or you've been trying to make someone else happy and now you're making a choice for yourself, try not to feel guilty about that. I think that's what the advice is giving you right now. What advice you really need to listen to, because you need to live your life for you. You are in charge of your own life, nobody else is. And I think it's important to make sure that you are honoring your authentic wishes and desires and the life that you want to be living. So some of you might actually find it easier this week to not feel guilty, because I'm not seeing a lot of guilty feelings here. I see a lot of like past guilty feelings, like you've been kind of stuck feeling like you don't really know what to do. And now I think this is you getting that new perspective. Maybe the issue is that you need to talk with a parent or somebody that you feel like you're going to let down if you make this choice, and then they're going to surprise you and tell you that they wouldn't be disappointed, and that's going to kind of free you to move forward so that you don't have to feel guilty. So that might resonate with some of you as well. You have Black Cat, fortune meets opportunity. So I think a lot of you are going to be feeling kind of lucky this week, like things are going to start working out for you. I think it's just going to feel like you're more aligned with your life and with the situation around you, because that's a lot of the time what I get with that 8 of Wands, is just feeling very aligned with things. Everything's running smoothly. There aren't a lot of blockages right there. It just feels like you're cruising, things are moving forward for you. You have gravity, groundedness, number 39. So I think it's important to stay grounded right now. I think it's important to make sure that you aren't kind of living in your head too much, and you are making those strides that are very practical and grounded as well. You have change, wind, number 24. So yeah, change is in the wind. I mean, we got that definitely from the death card. Even the 8 of Wands talks about change a lot of the time. So I definitely feel like you might be feeling overwhelmed, because the 8 of Wands can be overwhelmed. This looks super overwhelming to me. I mean, that's just a stressful image to look at. But notice how it comes from this like really tumultuous, destructive imagery, and then you get into kind of the nature and it looks a lot smoother, a lot more lush and abundant. So I think that's how it's going to feel, is even if it starts off feeling very stressful and just like you can't handle it, it's going to start smoothing over and you're going to start feeling more aligned with it, because that's even just the way all changes go. When things are first changing, it feels so stressful and overwhelming, and like just the rug got pulled out from under you, even if it's a change that you've been wanting. But then as you start getting used to your new normal, things start to smooth over. It's like when you get a new job, everything is super overwhelming at first, but then it starts to smooth out. You start getting used to it. You start learning things. And then finally you have silence, snow, number 34. So I think it's important to take some time out. I think some of you are really needing to take time alone and just allow your mind to still. How it seems when the snow first falls and everything gets really quiet and gentle. That's how you need to act with yourself. And I think that's what you need to allow your mind to do, is just still itself. I think you need to maybe meditate or do something just alone to kind of allow all of this overwhelming energy to just fall away so that you can kind of catch up with yourself. You have a new start is coming, new moon. So yeah, this is definitely a new start. It's a really abundant start. It's kind of a blank slate too. I think that's why it's exciting and overwhelming all at once. And then you have look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. So I think when you start getting overwhelmed, it might help you to look at why you're doing this, like why you're starting on this new endeavor, why you're leaving something behind. Because a lot of the time we just get caught up in the day-to-day aspects of it. But then if you really just take a step back and see why you're doing it, it's going to help you kind of regain that perspective again. So group 3, let's get your charms now for some more detailed information. We are going to use the hearts to figure out what's in the heart of the situation today. So group 3, the next 7 days. All right. So you got quite a few charms wanting to hop out right away. You got F in the heart. So that might be a significant word that's popping to mind, an initial that's coming to mind for a lot of you, but I feel like a lot of you are feeling like this fear of failure, both F words. So I feel like a lot of you are just like worried about what if I fail? What if this doesn't work out? And those what ifs are kind of the only thing holding you back anymore. Like I feel like there's just this string that's still attached, but you really need to sever that and allow yourself to move forward even with fear accompanying you. You have this kind of lone wolf energy, so I do feel like you are deviating from the norm. Maybe you're feeling like everybody else did things one way, and now you're really changing things up, and so you're feeling overwhelmed by kind of blazing a trail for yourself as well. You are dropping what needs to be left behind with the pack mule. You have the little star that says, I love you, I love you, I love you on it. So I do think that with like the star card coming out too, I think trust in your love for yourself. I think people around you love you as well. And I think that kind of that hope for new love as well is going to help kind of propel you forward. I think you're really like wanting to protect yourself with the umbrella. Like you're worried about kind of leaving yourself open and vulnerable. You have the little bowler hat. So this is the result of a lot of hard work that you've been putting in. You have the letter C. So that might be a significant initial for some of you as well. You have the tree, so things are really growing for you, and I think even if it's feeling like winter right now, things are going to start growing again and blossoming. You have but first coffee, so I think a lot of you just need to find whatever motivates you and whatever kind of picks you up when you're down and do that first, and then you'll have that power and energy to move forward again. You have the little devil face, so I think a lot of you are feeling like tied to a situation that's not really working for you, so just make sure that you are being brave enough to sever those ties when you know that that's the right thing to do. You have Sagittarius energy, so that's adventure, that's freedom. I think that freedom energy is really coming through because Sagittarius is like sometimes kind of restless, like not feeling right in the place that they are, even if it might be more right for them. But I feel like that kind of ties in with that Eight of Cups energy of just feeling restless, like you just don't want to be where you are because it just doesn't feel right to you. And some of you might be Sagittarius as well. So you have like, I think a lot of you like where you're at, but you don't love it. That's kind of the energy I'm getting, is that it's okay, but it just doesn't fit with you. And that's why it's like maybe harder to make this change, because it's like things are fine, but you really want something better than fine. You have the mushroom here. So that's just my symbol of things growing from things that have died, you know, like mushrooms help things to decompose. So I think just trusting that new things will grow out of the things that are being left behind. And then you have the unicorn. So believing in magic, trusting in yourself, trusting that your dreams can come true. That's really the energy that I think you need to embrace this week. But this does seem like a really major turning point for you this week. So group 3, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.